We have another package. Just because I put the package down lightly 2 times in a row does not mean I'm never gonna throw it again. I simply just didn't want to hurt my new blue iPhone XR last time. And I think breaking this by dropping it would be a pretty big mistake, and you'll see why in a sec. So back in January, I dropped my iPhone 14 Pro on its back and ended up shattering the entire back glass. Now, I didn't really care much about this as I did get AppleCare, and I just left it cracked up until last weekend. And last weekend, I finally decided to go to the Apple store and go ahead and try to get it fixed. When I showed up, they told me they did not have the part in stock, and the only option that day was to get a full replacement, which honestly, I was totally okay with. When the guy at the Apple store was entering all the information for the full replacement, their system flagged my iPhone, and he told me that this was most likely because I had just had it repaired back in early January for a green line that showed up in my screen. And since that repair was actually covered by Apple, as there was no physical damage, they wanted to send it off to make sure that there was no issue causing the phone to break over and over again, which I fully understand and did not complain about. They ended up sending me a full replacement, and it's in this box. So let's go ahead and get it open. Now, I am secretly hoping for this phone to be running iOS 16, meaning I would be able to jailbreak it, but it's honestly totally fine if it isn't, but it would definitely make my day if it was. Enough yapping, let's get this open. I've cut the seal, and now it's time to see what's inside of the Apple replacement box. Now, they actually overnight shipped this to me from Pennsylvania, meaning they spent about $100 just to ship this to me overnight. Let's go ahead and lift it up. And you can see some typical, really nice Apple packaging. Here we have a blank sticker. Not sure what this was supposed to be. Here's a little Apple support card. That's kind of cool. I'll definitely keep this. And in this tan colored box, we have the iPhone 14 Pro itself. The rest of this box is just cardboard and could be tossed, but I'm most likely going to reuse it to ship something else in the future. So here we have the box that my brand new iPhone 14 Pro should be inside of. And I've been waiting for a week, and a week is too long to use my iPhone SE for. So let's get this open. Now it's time for the big reveal. Here is a fresh iPhone 14 Pro. I'm gonna remove this from the box using a phone repair spudger and place it on here for now. The rest of this is just cardboard, but I could use this to ship phones in the future, so I'll keep it. Here we have the beautiful iPhone 14 Pro, and it's time to go ahead and peel this plastic off and see that fresh screen. But first, let's just take a look at the uncracked and unscathed back glass, the barely smudged, reflective stainless steel sides. Those sides won't be the same way for long, as they tend to scratch even in a case. Without further ado, let's get this plastic peeled off. And man, that is a gorgeous iPhone 14 Pro. Let's go ahead and turn it on and take a look at the beautiful replacement device. Now, this is not an AppleCare Express replacement. This is just a typical Apple replacement device. That's why it came in a tan box instead of an AppleCare box. Here it is on the setup screen. We'll go ahead and swipe up to get started. English, United States, and you can see, unfortunately, the device is running iOS 17, but that's okay. Anything beats using my iPhone SE 3 for a week. We'll go ahead and continue, and we'll set up without another device. Give me a moment to connect to Wi-Fi. Wonderful. On my brand new 14 Pro, it refuses to activate on the first activation. We'll go ahead and try again. And of course, it worked this time. We'll continue, and we'll set up the iPhone for myself. I'm gonna skip all of the Face ID, passcode, and Apple ID options, as I'm just gonna restore from a backup after I set this phone up. We'll agree. And will only download automatically, as I don't like to typically update all my phones to the latest version. We'll continue. We'll enable. And we can set up cellular after I restore my backup. We'll set up Siri later. setup later. I don't really care about any of the security questions. And just for the sake of my eyes, we're gonna use dark mode. I understand how to use emergency SOS, and it's time to get started. Of course, we immediately get a pop-up to set up cellular, but I'm gonna do this later. For now, I do wanna take a look at the iOS version that the phone's running. It looks like it's running 17.2.1, and of course, it's the same 256 gigabyte as the first one I bought. It's really nice to see no parts and service history in the About section. That's definitely a plus. I've just got to make sure that my AppleCare plan syncs up to this one. Now, my last one was on 17.3.1. Having it be on 17.2.1 actually gives it a higher chance of having a jailbreak in the future, which is exciting. I'm glad it's not running 17.4.1, where there would be practically no chance in the future at all. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, unboxing a fresh replacement iPhone 14 Pro. I'll have to set this up with my backup and put a screen protector on as soon as I finish this video, as I don't want this one to get hurt. So thank you guys so much for watching. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing, as of right now, only 25% of my viewers are actually subscribed. And yes, this is my new blue iPhone XR. You're only gonna see me using this in videos for the next 3 weeks, as I honestly can't get over how beautiful it is. Sorry to take over the video with this iPhone XR, but I love it too much. But again, only 25% of my viewers are actually subscribed. So if you're new, please hit the subscribe button, as it'll really help me out in reaching my goal of 4,000 subscribers. Now I realized while editing that I didn't have enough footage to make the video 8 minutes long, which if you're a YouTube creator, you'll know this. If your video is under 8 minutes long, you cannot have mid-roll ads in the middle of your video, which means you lose out on, I'd say, from what I've seen, quite a bit of revenue. So while I have the time, I'm gonna announce something for an upcoming video. So with my replacement iPhone 14 Pro, this is 2 days later. I've put it into a generic leather case I got my hands on for pretty cheap off AliExpress, because I refuse to pay for Apple's leather cases. And you can see it's running iOS 17.2.1 still. My AppleCare plan synced up, of course, and I was able to restore my backup from iOS 17.3.1. Now, this is something I think that I should make a video on, just a quick tutorial of how to restore backups from a newer iOS version to an older one without the use of some external software. That's right, you can do it just right here on your Mac or Windows computer and have everything transferred from your backup from, let's say, iOS 17 to your iPhone running iOS 16. But that's for a future video, but I just wanted to show that I have everything transferred over on my new 14 Pro, and I've managed the last 2 days without cracking it yet. Anyways, enough yapping. Comment, like, and subscribe, and as always, peace out, guys.